at the end of the day, like we said at the beginning of the show, we're looking for equals here. We're looking for equals, you know, and that's what a conscious relationship is. Different, but equal.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and not with its, you know, not everything is peace all the time. Not everything is a psychological dysfunction all the time. Not everything is abuse and trauma all the time. It's looking past all of these things. You know, it's actually participating and then being able to stop those things. Because, you know, the danger about being a really smart Checky is that you're calling certain things out so much all the time that you're ignoring all these fingers that you're pointing, and then you got more fingers pointing back at you. and so
sure.
It's
because
you
you
start
see
learning,
stuff.
you start learning words like projection and you know, and shadow behavior and complexes, and then you're oh, this is all that I'm infiltrating my mind with. And while the person's trying to talk to you about what they're needing, what they're feeling, what they're desiring.
Yeah, man. And I love how also what I've been hearing you say is, you, at the end of the day though, you also give each other a pass, like to just, you know, just table it for a while and let's just keep it light and just be and allow each other to grow. And one step forward, two steps back, three steps forward, one step back. Sometimes she's rowing the boat more than you're rowing the boat, but eventually the boat travels forward together in small increments over time. It's making progress, and that probably ultimately was what keeps you guys together. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you know, you, like you said, the Stairmaster analogy you gave, you look down, you're like, well, look how far we have come. You know, we're making progress, and that's really the end game.
Yeah, and especially because with Sarah and I, our core chunk of what we believe in and what we are growing together is there. The rest is how we communicate day to day between each other, and how we spend the time in between. That's what we're not going, oh, well, my dream is to now live in a high rise in a big city. Like, we're both not on that same page. But if she was like, hey, I want to move to Chicago and live on the 100th floor of the Willis Tower or whatever in a big condo, and even if we had the money to, you know, pay it in cash, I'd be like, that sounds gross to me. Why are we doing that? You know, and it would create conflict. And so, but since we're on the same page on so many levels, and I tell a lot of men, and I can extend this to women too, is be honest with what you want.
Yes,
because
please.
2 months into me I think 3 months into us knowing each other, maybe 4, I can't remember. It was within that window. We were sitting at a restaurant, and I casually asked her, not casually, but I asked her, are you willing to have more kids? And then she stopped, thought about it. She goes, yeah, I'm willing to have more kids. And then 6 months into us knowing each other, she was pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but if she said no, that conversation would have ended there. And I go, oh, so this has been fun.
But Aleks, what if she changed her mind? I mean, maybe if that moment she didn't want to have more kids and she didn't take a moment to pause to think about it, she just knee-jerk, heck no, and then you walk. But after getting to know you for a few months and really settling in, like, she might reconsider, like, actually, I didn't think I wanted more kids, but maybe now I do because you're amazing or whatever.
That could be a thing. That could 100% be a thing. And yet at the same time, it depends on how long you guys are together and what the relationship is like. But I mean, I ask, you know, frightening questions up front. What are your parents like? You know, what are your dreams in life? What, you know, how is your relationship with all your other exes? How many people have you slept with? Because I'm curious, not because I'm judgmental, because I'm in that same boat. I'm curious. And then I'm like, well, what was that like? What was this like? So I'm curious about life. And at the same time, I want to know, based on what my values are, what I want in life, I'm going to share them with you. I want kids. And so, and remember that conversation that says, I don't mind if she already has kids, but I want also a child of my own or children of my own. And are you willing to give that to me? And if the answer is a hard no, like you were like, absolutely no, then we're not, then like if you tell me, you know, I am not, you know, called to have children in this life as of yet, and I don't see it happening in the future up until, you know, I can't give children anymore, then I would go, well, great, that was fun. I really enjoyed our connection together. We're going to stay awesome friends. But we're not right for each other. And so she leaned in and she goes, yeah, I think I could do more. And then here comes, you know, our now almost a half-year-old, 6.5-year-old, you know, running around. So, but I tell people, practice scaring your dates away. And if they don't leave and you see them lean in, you got something special going on, and you should ride that out. Because it's dangerous for a CHEK practitioner to go on Tinder dates, because you're going to see daddy flags, mommy flags, triggers, you know, shallowness, and so many different factors. And I'm like piercing right through these veils, and they're so uncomfortable. And I'm enjoying the uncomfortableness, because this is probably the first interaction with a real person they've had in a long time. And they're over there being fake and thinking that I can't see through it. And this is what, you know, society tells you have to do, show up as this like really nice buttoned up person. It's like, no, show up as yourself so I can know what I'm dealing with. So I don't wait 5 years to find out that you're actually not willing to grow, not willing to commit, not willing to do any of these things. So if you practice scaring your people away with honesty, you'll know right from the start whether that person's ready to tango or not.
Yeah, it's funny. You're making me think of our mutual friend, Kyle Kingsbury. I think he actually says that. He likes to basically, I don't know if he used that term, but I just recall him saying that at some point, that he used to do that put all the bad stuff right there. And if they still hung around, they were still interested, then they might have something. Because people do totally the opposite, don't we?
You know, I mean, yeah. But
I mean, we wait till we move in together to fart, you know? Like, people are married and they're like, oh, you know, now I'm farting. Or people wait until they're married to be like, oh, finally we're married and committed to each other. By the way, that thing that you really like that I do in bed, I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh God, that's a bait and switch. That's not going to work. That's not a good plan.
Well, please, I know women who don't even like to use the bathroom while the guy's in the house. Like, wait a minute, this is a whole nother conversation.
This is a
human thing. Like, I think he knows you go to the bathroom. You know, I think it's okay.
Yeah. If you guys have had sex and you've been in doggy style, he's seen your butthole, so there has to be poop coming out of that thing at some point in time. So this illusion that women don't poop needs to go, because it's really uncomfortable for me, for you, for everyone. Holding poop in all the time, like,
not healthy either.
Go poop. Yeah.
Well, so just to wrap that up, Aleks, has been so fascinating. But what I'm really hearing you say is, you know, getting your core values up front and solid and in sync. And that's kind of what you can proceed. And the rest is really life or fluff. But making sure those core values, like for you, growth-minded, like to be in nature, you know, so similar to my core values. But for people, making sure that your core values are in sync is really the end game.
If you can, with a date, maybe like not the first time, second time, you know, third time, after you guys like each other, if you guys can almost exchange what looks like wedding vows to each other, and they match up to the things that I value, and this is what you value. We're vowing to each other that we value these things, and when we don't value them anymore, we will change that. But if you truly tell people what you really value, you're vowing to them that this is true.
And then watch if the other person's living according to those values. Because a lot of people say the game, family's important, freedom's important. But when it comes right down to it, and people should check out episode 65 with me and your wife, Sarah, talking about freedom. But, you know, are you living your values? Is their actions match up with what they're saying?
Yeah. How many people that maybe are watching this that have been on Tinder or on Bumble and whatever the other dating apps are, and then they put like in their profiles, I love to go hiking. And then they never go hiking with that person.
No.
I love to go on adventures. And then you never go on an adventure. You Netflix, chill, have dinner, watch a movie, and then you make no adventures. You make no hikes. You do nothing that's on your profile. And it starts there.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so it's basic stuff. And so if that person is willing to lean in and let go of FOMO of like, what else is out there? Because I'm a big subscriber. The grass is always greener on the other side, yet the grass is always greener where you water it, is what I think. And so if you're taking time watering your grass, your yard's going to look better than the next person's yard, because you're not looking at the neighbor's yard. You're busy trimming your trees and branches and sowing and seeding and pulling weeds and stuff like that.
And that's good advice to keep the relationship. Like you said, it's one thing to attract this ideal soul partner, but to maintain it is a whole nother ball game. And to do so means keep watering your own grass, keep growing yourself, investing in yourself. And like, I love that how you obviously will not react to something that can trigger you emotionally, but consider like, is there some truth in what she's saying right now? Could it be I am lazy, or could it be whatever? And, you know, but that takes a tremendous amount of self-control and presence and maturity. And so, and again, that's rare. So, but I'm glad to hear there are men like that out there, because I believe there are, that's for sure.